So, I have just wrapped up, and we have all just wrapped up watching the main event between Marvin Vettori and Paulo Costa happen. And, wow, that was a very fun fight. I enjoyed that on a number of levels, and I think at the end of the day, that fight, even though you've got the two biggest middleweights in the division, you think, someone's going to get finished. Either Vettori's just going to dominate Paulo Costa on the ground and submit him, or Costa's just going to catch him and knock him out clean. I thought there was going to be a finish, but I think that fight exceeded my expectations. That was a very fun fight, and I enjoyed nearly every second of it. First, let's look at the positives on the winner, obviously, Marvin Vettori's side. I thought the keys to victory for Vettori was don't trade with Costa, wrestle him, and try and make it as ugly and just annoying as possible. Vettori stood up with him the entire fight. That left cross was there almost all night long. He tangled up Costa really well with the open stances. He had his front foot on the outside, and it tripped Costa up a lot. I think he probably could have taken advantage of that more, but it doesn't matter. He won. Other thing, I think I always not mocked him, but if you think of Vettori, you think of the front hand moving around, the head's moving like that, but I didn't actually realise that his head movement is so nice. It is so nice. The pull counter with the jabs is amazing. And when he got that head kick, the sound of it in real time, it was like, holy shit. He got kicked in the head full pelt, and he's completely fine. When you see the replay, he sees the kick coming and fully turns it, and it still hits the side of his head, but I think it mostly went to the neck, why it was alright. But then just other ones, you think Costa caught him with a massive shot, and then it slows down, and he's rolling with the punches, or getting his head just out of the way, so it's just clipping him on the way through. Although obviously his chin's there, I think the head movement was so nice. It was so nice. And he's been doing those sit-ups. My abs hurt so much from those kicks. So much. Post-fight positives for Vettori. I really like the respect when he interviewed, he's like, bro, Costa he punches so hard and those kicks were outstanding. I love that show of respect. I really do. I also do like the shit talking when Bisping's like, how do you feel about him? He's just like, yeah, he's still a cunt. I liked both sides of it, so I think Vettori, not flawless, because he did get caught and tested. Almost flawless, let's go with that. Very outstanding. Go to Paulo Costa and look at the positives as well from him. I think the narrative was that, the narrative for some reason was Paulo Costa, who looks like he's been sculptured, made out of rock, was too fat and couldn't make the weight. No, he looked fucking jacked to bullshit. I refuse to believe he's never taken a drug in his life. A PED. Holy God, he looked massive. And every single strike that he landed, it sounded massive. It was beautiful to watch. And when you think of someone that huge throwing that much leather, you think he's going to be out in 2 rounds. He very nearly won the 5th round. I think he probably won the 5th round. It doesn't make sense. He looked dead tired so many times, and then he just explodes and cracks Vettori, smashes him to the ribs of the body. It's what can you do? And then he even got a takedown. He got a takedown. He could have, I think it probably would have been better if he stood on top and continued the ground and pound, but he went for the submission and slipped out. But hindsight in that. I think, if he wanted to, I reckon he could be a really good wrestler in that division. As in the middleweights. But he should be light heavyweight. If he wants to fight like that again, he should be light heavyweight. But he did say there was problems with his camp, so we'll say that. And also, I really like the show. I've got to also commend Costa on his chin as well. I think he had a very different approach to his defense compared to Vettori of trying not to get hit rolling with the punches or whatever. He stood there and absorbed it, and he absorbed a lot. I think his eye, I think at points I didn't really catch too clear a view, and the commentary team was suspect today. Didn't catch it either. It felt like his eye was almost closed. Well, not like closed, but it was irritated a lot. And he just stood there and took it all, and then he's just like, oh, so good, come on. It's really fun to watch Paulo Costa fight. Like, I think it's going to be so toxic and so annoying to go on social media now because of everything that goes with Costa, but I love him. And Vettori, they're so fun. The negatives, from the fighters, if I'm being honest, I wouldn't really say anything. Like, you could say defense, because when you can say, oh, he's got an amazing chin, it means that defense isn't amazing, but bro, if it makes one of those fights, I don't care about defense. I don't care. I'm all good with the fighters. My main negative is the commentary team, especially Bisping. Yeah, especially Bisping, I think. Usually I'm the one to... that sounded very weird. Why am I saying that? Usually I'm commending Bisping. I think he's a really good commentator. But it felt like he hated Costa a lot. I mean, there was like 2 minutes 40 to go with round 1, and Bisping's going, oh yeah, he's tired, he's down, he's done, he's gassed, he's out, he's all finished. Like, you can say he looks like he's fading, which, oh my god, which Paul Felder I think was saying as well, but saying that he's done in the first round on cardio, and it goes 5 rounds, isn't great. And then I think there was a lot of hypocrisy, because you were saying that Costa's gonna struggle a lot with his cardio because he didn't have to cut weight and his body's not used to all this weight. His body's not used to all this weight, so it's gonna take a lot. I understand that. So that's why Costa's cardio is going to be bad. But then, like, almost in the same breath, he said Vettori's cardio is going to be amazing because he didn't have to cut weight. And he's not depleting himself and then rising back up, he's just staying at his peak. Because they both were at 204. They were both at the same weight. They both didn't have to cut weight. They were both carrying more weight in a fight. Like, I understand there's a narrative, and that's why I don't really like the media that much. There's a narrative that has to be there, but when you have 2 different narratives for 2 different people doing the exact same thing, interesting. The other negative I wanted to think about was, honestly, I think just MMA fandom in general. I'm going to be controversial here for no one who's listening, but for my own controversial opinion. I don't really like the Diaz's. I wasn't around, like, I got into MMA because I was because I heard of Conor McGregor fighting Floyd Mayweather, and the person you hear of, you want to be a fan of them first. So I never really liked the Diaz brothers. Everyone's saying, oh, Costa should be kicked out, he should go to Bellator if he doesn't want to fight in this weight division, yada yada yada. Nick Diaz did this literal thing a few weeks ago against Robbie Lawler. He wasn't as vocal and honest to, like, in a press conference, he didn't say, oh yeah, I can't make the weight, I want to go up a weight class or catch weight. He did it behind the scenes, but he did that. They had a scheduled fight for welterweight, he's like, nah, I want middleweight. And everyone's like, oh yeah, that's all cool. Nick Diaz, yay! Costa does this and's been honest and like, yeah, I'm not going to make the weight, I want to catch weight, or we can just move up, which it turned out to be, and everyone's like, boo, ship out to Bellator. More hypocrisy there. Again, you've got this two people doing the exact same thing, but two different narratives go along with it. Interesting to say the least. But yeah, fun fight.